Each one of us has unique features that we like to think says something about our personalities. Maybe you think your funky colored hair marks you as a free spirit. Or maybe you think your glasses give you an intellectual appearance. In your quest to show off your identity via aesthetics, you may be missing out on some opportunities for self-analysis. We'll show you 10 things you may have never noticed about your body that could provide you with some poignant insight. Looking at the screen right now says that you enjoy videos, so make sure to press that subscribe button and turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss out on our latest videos. Finger shape. Your hands may be one of the best indicators of your personality and health, and it's because they were influenced by hormones you received when you were in the womb. First, examine your index finger. The shorter it is, the more likely you are to be unable to hold your tongue in an altercation, and the more likely you are to excel athletically. It can also mean that you have excellent spatial recognition skills, so it's likely your Rubik's Cube solving skills are second to none. You can also read maps well and find your way around without having to stop and ask for directions. Your ring finger is longer the more testosterone you were exposed to in utero. If your ring finger is long, it means that you tend to be a risk taker. Health-wise, an index finger that's shorter than your ring finger can mean you're at risk of knee issues. If they're the same size or close to it, that can mean that you have a greater chance of developing oral cancer. If they're the same length, this can also mean that you have an excellent memory, but are more prone to anxiety and depression. Tongue. We may not spend a lot of time looking at ours, but we use our tongue for many things, including speaking, eating, and licking stamps. However, our tongues can indicate certain health problems, so it's a good idea to examine yours in the mirror from time to time. Does your tongue appear bright red? Assuming you didn't just eat something cherry-flavored, this could mean that your body is missing out on vitamin B12 or iron. Both are needed in order for the papillae on your tongue to mature. This is especially a concern if you eat a vegetarian diet. If you see patches of white on your tongue, this can indicate a serious health issue. They're caused by an excess growth of cells and have a chance of becoming cancerous. They're often seen in the mouths of people who smoke. If you don't smoke, there's a chance it could be just an abrasion. But if it doesn't go away, you should definitely get it checked out. Do the taste buds on your tongue seem to look topographical? This condition is known as a geographic tongue, and thankfully it's harmless. It just means that some of your taste buds have shrunk while others haven't. Feet. You've probably heard of palm reading, but it turns out that your feet might reveal some clues about your personality as well. Take a look at your big toe. If it's much longer than your other toes, it can indicate that you're clever and creative, even if you don't have the longest attention span. If your big toe isn't quite that big, it can mean that you're a charming multitasker and a great leader. If your second toe is shorter than your big toe, that means that you're someone who values harmony in life. The length of your third toe is said to indicate your level of energy and resourcefulness. But if it's short, that means that you're more laid back and relaxed in general. A long fourth toe indicates that you value your family and personal relationships very highly, while a shorter one shows that you're more introverted. See if you can wiggle your little toe without moving your fourth toe. If you can, it means that you tend to be charming, impulsive, and adventurous. If you can't, you put a lot of value on dependability and loyalty. If the arches of your feet are high, you're likely very independent and confident in yourself. If they're flat, you're more of a social butterfly. Nose. While other body features can reveal things about our personalities or our inner thoughts, your nose can reveal your background as plain as, well, the nose on your face. Scientists believe that climate has a lot to do with how different nose shapes form. Research has found that there is a correlation between nostril width and temperature and humidity. In general, the wider your nostrils, the likelier that your ancestors came from somewhere hot and humid. Whereas if you have rather narrow nostrils, your ancestors probably came from somewhere cold and dry. Scientists studied several nose traits, including nose height, protrusion, and nostril width. They concluded that more narrow internal nasal inlets are more efficient at warming and humidifying air than wider ones are. While the shape of your nostrils can give clues about your ancestry, there may be other factors influencing the shape of your nose as well, including cultural differences in attractiveness. Scientists hope that learning more about how our environment adaptations shaped our appearances can help us better understand disease risk. We generally prefer not to be judged on our appearances, but if it helps identify risk factors for health problems, maybe a little scrutinizing is okay. Blinking. While your eye color can reveal some things about your personality, watching how much someone blinks can tell you what they're thinking. Maintaining eye contact with someone usually indicates interest, but how do we know if someone is looking at us to be polite or because they're actually interested in us. If someone is interested in you, their pupils will dilate due to the excitement of speaking with you. In fact, men tend to be more attracted to women with large pupils. Another clue is the marked increase in blinking. The average person blinks about 10 times per minute. Going over that is a sure sign that someone is interested in you, or at least what you're saying. Blinking can also let you know whether or not someone is being honest with you. If someone is telling you a lie, their blinking will often slow down. Scientists believe this is because they're concentrating on making up or conveying an excuse. However, immediately after the lie, they'll blink rapidly because of the anxiety they're experiencing, just waiting to see if you believe them. If someone's eye color doesn't tell you enough about them, just observe how they use their eyes. Belly button. Once we're no longer babies or toddlers, most of us lose our fascination with our belly buttons. We only look at ours to make sure they're not harboring any lint. But grab a mirror and take a closer look at yours. Researcher Aki Singponen reports that people claim to find T-shaped, oval, or vertical navels with a small foot to be the most appealing. In addition, it's thought that the symmetry, shape, and position of a woman's belly button can hold clues about her fertility. Your navel can also predict your level of athleticism. When you look at your belly button this time, you want to make sure you're focusing on its position relative to the rest of you. Your belly button can help determine your center of gravity. Having a belly button that's rather high up means that you'll have an advantage when it comes to running, whereas a lower set belly button means that you're better at swimming. A low belly button can translate to a longer torso, and this means you can easily make larger waves when you swim and coast on them to the finish line easily. Having a higher set belly button means that you likely have long legs, making it much easier for you to run. Forehead. You may try to hide it with a hat or behind some bangs, but your forehead can actually tell you a lot about your personality. Some people with broad foreheads can feel self-conscious about them, but having one actually says really good things about you. It means that you're intelligent and incredibly skilled. If the top of your forehead seems to be very straight, it can mean that you're a very straightforward person. Although you can be blunt and uncompromising, you're also very honest and diligent. Alternatively, a very curved hairline can indicate an exuberant and vibrant person. Someone with this type of forehead tends to be the life of the party. If your hairline is rather jagged, you have a sharp forehead. It can be rather sharp and biting with both your wit and your words. If the distance between your eyebrows and your hairline is on the small side, you're likely to be an introvert and rely on your emotions instead of your head at times. Having an M-shaped forehead, where your hairline clips down in the middle, means that you have an active imagination and spend a lot of time daydreaming. Eye color. We can't say if they're the windows to the soul, but your eye color can actually reveal a lot about your personality. Scientists at the Örebro University of Sweden studied the link between eye color and personality. Dr. Anthony Fallon claimed that because our eyes are so closely linked to the brain on a neurological level, it makes sense that they could hold clues regarding the functions of our brain. Individuals with dark or brown eyes tend to be natural-born leaders and excel in athletics. Although people with blue eyes may be perceived as weak or timid by others, in truth, they tend to be strong both inside and out. One of the most rare eye colors, gray eyes can have deep emotions and care greatly for others. However, they can seem to have a rather dual nature, which can be confusing at times. We tend to perceive people with hazel eyes as being unique, and in truth, they are independent, confident, and spontaneous. Green eyes are often perceived as being very attractive, and it's a much sought-after color. People with green eyes tend to be balanced individuals and know when to be cautious and when to be strong. Symmetry. You've heard the expression, never judge a book by its cover, but it turns out you can learn a lot about someone's backstory by examining how symmetrical their face is. The University of Edinburgh conducted a study regarding facial symmetry and inspected the facial features of 292 people who were all 83 years old. They focused on 15 specific areas, including the position of the eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. They then interviewed the participants about their childhood and found out that those with the most asymmetrical faces reported having the toughest upbringing. Regardless of how their lives later turned around, it seems that childhood trauma and low social class from your youth has a correlation with how asymmetrical your face is as an adult. In general, it's thought that people with more symmetrical faces are considered more conventionally attractive. However, beauty isn't everything, and studies have also shown a strong correlation between having an asymmetrical facial features and having strong leadership abilities. However, whether correlation equals causation here, we aren't sure. It could be that because people have asymmetrical faces are less likely to be able to get by on their looks, and so they develop additional qualities in order to compensate. Red hair. We can't say for sure if blondes really do have more fun, but based on a few studies, it seems that redheads may have the least amount of fun. Only about 1 to 2% of the worldwide population has red hair, and many of us with other shades envy their eye-catching locks. But having red hair also means that you're more sensitive to pain, and unfortunately, more sensitive to anesthesia as well. According to the Journal of the American Dental Association, redheads are twice as likely to avoid going to the dentist as people with other hair colors. Scientists believe that the melanocortin-1 receptor, which produces melanin in people with other hair colors, produces a different substance called pheomelanin in redheads. This difference seems to affect the body's resistance to pain. When it comes to managing that pain, redheads are more sensitive to opiate painkillers. In addition to causing pale skin, the mutation of the MC1R gene can also make their skin cells more susceptible to skin cancer when exposed to ultraviolet light. The mutation prevents MC1R from binding to a gene which protects against cellular changes, which can lead to cancer. Our bodies are absolutely fascinating, and they reveal more about us than we once thought. Did any of your skills or personality traits suddenly seem to make total sense after watching our video? Before you head off to look at your tongue in the mirror, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.